So once you have opened up the URL that brings you to the article, for example, what is activism? So I'll have the link in the assignment, whether it's a Google assignment or a Kami assignment. But I'm trying to use Newsela and give you the option as then you can adjust the reading level, and I will tell you the reading levels you can and cannot use in person, because for each of you it's a little different. Some of you might be able to maybe reading the max, and some of you might be reading the 710 or whatever. So I will share that with you in person at the beginning of when we start using Newsela. So let's say you are allowed to use 710. So I'm going to click 710. Then what you're going to do is you are then going to click the print button, and you're going to use the article only. It'll open up the print menu. Now, because you have this K on your Chromebook, you should see this open with Kami button. So you're not going to actually print, you're not going to download, so stay away from those. You are going to click the open with Kami button. And you may need to log in the first time. Notice I'm logged in with my mkarasek at apps.district833.org. So you'll be logging in with your @apps account. So then you can read the article, and depending on the week, for the first little bit, I'm just going to have you number the paragraphs, underline author's claims, and then highlight key terms. So number the paragraphs, highlight key terms, and underline author's claims. And we'll talk about those individually later. So how do you do those things? Well, the first thing is to mark up, to highlight. You can click this highlight markup button, and you've got the text highlighter or the box highlighter. For now, because it's coming from Newsela, you should be able to click the text highlighter, and you can change the colors. I'm going to stay with yellow, and I can highlight the word activism. And I highlight it because I will be seeing it several times. And actually, if I double click it, it also highlights it. So you don't have to do that every time. If you just hover and double click, it highlights those words. Okay? To underline, you can click the underline button, and I would change the color, not to yellow, but to a different color, and then you can underline text. Oops. Come on. Unfortunately, you can't underline something that's already been highlighted. I don't know why, but so be it. Okay, so that's how you underline. Now, on occasion, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you write a paragraph. Most of the time, there is open space. Sometimes what I'll have you do is submit this along with a Google document. But usually I'll try to have it all in one place. That way it's a little easier. You're not clicking too many buttons. Once you are done highlighting, numbering the paragraphs, and underlining, and you've done your paragraph if I've asked you to do so, then what you're going to do to submit, you are going to click this share button. You're going to make sure it says anyone with the link, and you can click view, that's okay. Or you can keep it editor so then I can edit it. But you're going to copy that, and then in the assignment, when you want to submit, you can submit the URL. Okay, and I'm going to pause that for a second and open that up to show you what it looks like. The other thing that I might have you do, and I'll probably have you do this more often, is go to your Google Drive. Actually, you won't go to Google Drive. I'm going to show you in your Google Drive that this document is actually saved in what's called Cami Uploads. So you do not have to go to your Google Drive. I'm just showing you where it is in your Google Drive and that it is highlighted even in your Google Drive. Okay. So after you are done, sometimes I'll have you share it, but most of the time I'm going to have you submit it in Schoology. So here's an assignment that another teacher created as a practice, and I'm a student in her practice class. And so I'm going to click the submit button. So pretend this is your assignment. Okay, so I've asked you to read an article. I've asked you to number the paragraphs, highlight key terms, and underline author's claims, and maybe write a paragraph. And then you're done. So you go to the assignment, click resources, click apps, and you should be logged in with your @apps account. If you're not, it will ask you. Then you're going to take this title and you're going to look it up in your Google Drive resources. So I'm putting it in there. There it is. I would click import file. And now it's submitted. So I've submitted an assignment. Now it will take a little bit of time for the teacher, for me, to see it. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes before I see it. If you're like, oops, I submitted the wrong one, you can resubmit the assignment. You can't delete it, but you can resubmit by going to resources, apps, and then searching for the correct one. Okay. If you have any questions, you can message me on Schoology. So you just click new message and you would type in Karasak, and I won't show up. Well, my daughter does. Oh, those are the schools I used to teach at. There I am. So I do show up. So Karasak, make sure it's the Eastridge Matthew Karasak. Sorry about that. And then type the message, or you can email me at mkarasak@sawashko.org.